afternoon, and welcome to the Cub Cadet Built for Business virtual panel. I'm Seth Jones, Editor-in-Chief of Landscape Management Magazine. It's my pleasure to be your moderator today. First, a little bit about me and my magazine before we go on to our esteemed group of guests. I've been in the professional turf media business for 20 years. For about 2+ years, I've been the editor-in-chief of Landscape Management Magazine. I'm based here at my home in rural northeast Kansas. For those not familiar with Landscape Management Magazine, we're the #1 magazine in the industry with a readership of 86,000 landscaping and lawn care professionals. I like to tell people that we're monthly, weekly, and daily, because we have a monthly magazine, we have a weekly e-newsletter called LM Direct, and our website's updated daily, so we stay pretty busy. And based on support of our partners like Cub Cadet, we're able to bring this all to our readers for free through our website and through our publications. You can check us out at landscapemanagement.net. My team of editors, we've been busy this year. We're busy every year, but this has been an unusual year for a lot of people. I would like to tell my team that they turned it up to 11 this year because once the pandemic came along, everybody went to their homes and started working. As journalists, we're used to going out and seeing our readers in person, and that meant we had to change the way we work. We've been picking up the phone a lot. We've been doing a lot of Zoom calls, trying to keep up with what our industry is doing. And for me personally, it reminded me of the need that I feel that the reason that we got into this is that we need a central voice for our industry, and we were very happy to be that central voice. And we were hearing a bunch of different things. Just think about how much things have changed over the past 6 months. And I think back, I look at my calendar from March and April when we had entire states that were shut down and companies were deemed non-essential, and then to where we are today. I think a lot of people have been making that joke about how long 2020 seems. It also depends on how busy you are, because I think a lot of people, it's been a fast year too, based on just the amount of work that's been coming towards people. It's also been a long year too. I'm not going to lie. I'd like to get out of this home office a little bit more than I've been doing. So, but the good news is, outdoors is one. I'm going to call it right now. Get Time Magazine. I'm going to get them on the phone. Give Time's Person of the Year award to Mother Nature, because just a renewed interest in the outdoors. If you were in the indoor business, I'm sorry. If you're in the outdoor business, wow. I mean, it's been booming for us, for all of our readers. In the new issue, we talked to literally 100 people. We have 60 different products profiled, and there wasn't one naysayer in the group. It's just really energizing to see how many people have taken this situation that's been thrust upon us, and they've risen to the occasion. It makes for good copy. It uplifts you. And I'm excited to get to our panelists here today, because I know that they've got a lot of the same stories. One of the things that just kind of made me laugh the other day was when I made a phone call to a reader in West Virginia, and his auto answer service picked up, and it was his voice message, and he was pretty stern in his voice message, saying, "Hey, if you're calling for service, we are not accepting any new clients for the rest of 2020. Try us again. You could push 1 and leave your name and number in the spring. Maybe we'll get back to you." You could tell there was a little bit of doubt in his voice. And then just like that, his tone changed, and he said, "But if you're interested in an employment opportunity, please press 2, leave your contact information, and we'll get right back to you." I thought that was kind of this year in a nutshell from what we can tell from sitting behind our desk on landscape management. A lot of people are out of work, and we've got some people who are looking to get into work. A lot of projects out there. A lot of people with a renewed interest in their outdoor space and investing money. This story comes as close as my next door neighbor. We just moved out into the country about a year ago, and I've got some acreage out here that I like to try and mess up every other weekend. And I was out there, and I've got the nicest neighbor in the world. She's so nice. When the pandemic started, she brought over a bag full of puzzles and a box of chocolate chip cookies for my kids. She's over there, and she takes a lot of pride in her yard, and she's getting up there in the years. So I drove over there to say hi and see how she's doing. And then she started telling me about what she was doing. She's had a crew over at her place for about a month. She says, "Seth, I don't want any contractors inside my house. I don't want really anybody inside my house, and I can't travel right now, and I can't go see my grandkids. But what I can do is I can invest into my space out here. So I'm putting in a new patio, and she was putting in 2 areas for parking for an RV, complete with the hookups and everything. It was a nice setup. And she's telling me this story like she's trying to justify it to me. Like, I felt like she's like, hey, I'm not crazy. This is what I'm doing. And I wanted to tell her, trust me, you're not the only one. This is a nationwide thing right now, and obviously that is good for our readership. So I will stop yammering right now and telling my stories, because the stories of our panelists are going to be a lot better than any stories that I can share with you. So I'm going to go ahead and introduce our esteemed panelists right now. Joining me on the call today, out in Milford, Michigan, Brian Fullerton is the owner of Brian's Lawn Maintenance, and he is a lawn influencer who has significantly grown his following over the years on social media by providing in-depth product reviews, business development solutions, and advice to fellow landscapers. He also recently launched his podcast, Fullerton Unfiltered. I was very flattered to be asked to be a guest on that show. And Brian launched his landscaping business back in 2007. I tell you, he's got more energy than a lot of people. I think he gets more done by lunchtime than I do in a full day. So, Brian, it's good to see you, and welcome to the event.
Hey, thanks, Seth. Appreciate the time, and super excited about jumping on this panel with the rest of the guests. So thanks for having us.
Absolutely, Brian. Thanks for being here. Our next guest is out of the Chicagoland area. He is the owner of C&I Services. It's Christian Schloegel. Welcome to the show. I just got to say before you get started here, you've been doing your business since the 5th grade, and you're providing landscaping and snow removal services, and you're growing on social media, and yet you're making me feel really old here, man. You're still a young guy here, but you're an old soul. Well, welcome to the show, Christian.
Thanks, Seth, for having me on. It's a pleasure, and this is we've been doing our business for about 7 or 8 years now, I'm excited for this panel with all you guys.
Okay, great. I'm looking forward to talking to you some more. And then also on the panel with us, National Sales Manager for Cub Cadet, Business Professional Segment, Aaron Griffith. He's been on from everything from stand-on mowers to hill crushers. He's helped Cub Cadet grow their commercial equipment offerings for landscapers across the country. Aaron, it's good to see you. Thanks for being here.
Yeah, thanks for having us, Seth. Thanks for doing this for us, Brian and Christian. Good to see you guys again, albeit virtually. I wish we were all in person down in Louisville this year, and we could have our family reunion, I always like to call it. But thanks, everybody, for joining the meeting today, the panel.
Fantastic. Well, now that we've got everyone here, Brian, I want to start with you, and I want to go back to what I was talking about early on, just because it has been the topic of the year, and I'd like to talk to all you guys about it for a few minutes. Can you talk to me about how your job has changed based on a global pandemic?
Yeah, I mean, 2020 has been an interesting year, no doubt about that. I think anybody who's watching and weighing in on this panel tonight, and also everybody who's watching, we've had to adapt, we've had to change, we've had to, as they say, the cheese has moved this year, right? And, it was funny because as we all went through winter and came out of spring, I think we were all chomping at the bit, imagining that 2020 was going to be our biggest year ever. And then, in March, obviously, we all had to pull the emergency brake as we had to adjust. The world went through unprecedented times, unprecedented events, and that also meant unprecedented, situations and opportunities is what I like to call it. For my own lawn and landscape business. I always joke with my friends when we look at the employee handbook, there was no page 54 for worldwide pandemic. So as you guys can imagine, there was a lot of firsts, a lot of adjustments, but that's what we do as entrepreneurs or launchpreneurs, as I like to call it. We try, we fail, we adjust. Anytime that there's a problem or a stumbling block, we try to look at the positive side of things and use that as a stepping stone to grow our business. So yeah, we've had to adjust schedules. We've had to adjust revenue goals. We've had to realize that, we might not be making as many capital investments into our business this year. We might be tightening the bootstraps and tightening the belt buckle, if you will, to work with what we already got. But you know what? I think the caveat is over the last 4 or 5 months that we've learned to adjust to what this people are calling the new normal here. And you know what? As entrepreneurs and launchpreneurs, we can't make excuses, right? There's still work that has to get done. Grass has to get mowed. Trees have to get pruned. And I'm really proud of, our business and the guys that work with my company, but then also just the green industry in general. I've seen so much ingenuity, so many people that are, future focused. We're trying to figure out what can we do, not what's holding us back necessarily. And so I think it's been a very interesting year, and everybody I talk to is way more optimistic now than they were back in March, April, May. And it's just exciting to see the growth that everybody's had in their companies, both as the lawn and landscape business owner, but also the larger companies like a Cub Cadet. So super exciting times.
Yeah, exciting. That's the one way to put it, Chris. I like it. Christian, I want to go over to you with this question. What's it done to you? What's the pandemic? How's that changed the way you guys are operating?
Yeah, Seth. So a lot of we're lucky because last year we started using online software for a lot of our business. So that allowed us to do a lot of contactless invoicing, quoting, and that whole process. So we were lucky we kind of had a jump start on that, where I could see some people who didn't have that would be much more difficult because we had to eliminate a lot of our in-client meetings when we do a quote. So that was we were fortunate that we were pretty much prepared for that, I guess. Around here, the industry really has been booming, especially around the landscape installation, that sector of our industry. A lot of our clients, I'm sure you guys know this, but a lot of our clients are home now compared to traveling, and though we did lose maybe 5 or 10 lawn clients who decided to start doing their own lawn because they're home now, and maybe even some snow removal clients towards the end of last year, and I'm guessing it'll go into this year. A lot of our clients thought, well, our landscape's actually not looking as good as I thought it was because they haven't been paying as much attention because they were, go, go, go. But so that's where a lot of we've probably gone from 10% or 20% installation and 80% maintenance to 50-50 at least. And that's been a big learning curve for us because we've been primarily maintenance, but it's been for the good, and we've really created a lot of great new relationships and really strong relationships with our clients. But yeah, luckily around here we've been able to safely work through most of the spring. But of course with many more precautions of safety, and in the spring we were letting our clients know ahead of time, we're hoping to service your property if you're comfortable with that, especially around the time when it was the most sensitive, in that late March, April timeframe, just confirming with them to make sure they're fine for us to be on their property. But luckily, I think we're pretty fortunate to be in this industry and to be in where we've been this year.
That's another good word there. Fortunate. I like that. If I was quoting you in the magazine right now, that's what we call a soundbite, Christian. I love it. Aaron, I'm going to put this question on you, and if I could be so bold to ask, one, what has the pandemic meant for you guys at Cub Cadet, and two, how's business?
Yeah, thanks so much, Seth. Couple things first before we get into that. Just a personal story to kind of tie in what you said earlier in the intro was when we were shut down, and I went and redid my entire backyard. We made the outside as nice as possible, spend the time with the kids, with the wife, family, when you can have other friends over, things like that. And luckily I did right when the pandemic started, because I don't think you can find treated lumber anywhere right now. So that's a good thing. And then I wanted to hit on two things before I talk about our side that both Brian and Christian said that I thought were just fantastic. One is how the green industry really stepped up in this pandemic. Everybody was helping each other out. Several of the associations out there were really digging into the mandates and the laws to make sure that these landscapers were essential. Our dealers were essential. And it was really great to see the family atmosphere of the lawn and garden business really come together and help each other out to make us fortunate, which is what Christian said that I thought really rang a bell. We are fortunate that we're in this business. We're fortunate that we're in a business that everyone cares for one another, and that we are dependent on Mother Nature. And as you said earlier, Mother Nature gave us a nice one this year. We had great wet weather, great sunshine, grass was growing. It was just a fantastic year. But to talk more about how COVID impacted Cub Cadet's business, one, when you think about when that hit, right there in the middle of March, I'll never forget that week when kind of the whole world stops. I was actually traveling in Florida when that happened, but that was the start of our season. When you look at it, going from March, April, and May, that's the heart of our season. So we were pivoting, making changes to our marketing plans, doing whatever we could to continue to go forward with growing our business for the year. And luckily, we were able to do that. We have had a fantastic year this year. We have grown our commercial business at a great rate. We also, with that time that we were, working from home, not traveling as much, we were able to implement a lot of efficiencies in how we meet, how we kind of go to market, and how we talk through things. We built a lot of great training material for our dealers to be able to use to know more about our products and more about our programs. And it's really just made the business overall more efficient by learning how to do these virtual things more and more.
Fantastic. That's all good news. I'm happy to hear it, Aaron. And, it makes me think about something that when you talk about the unusualness of the year and what you guys do, I want to ask Brian and Christian, how important is it to you guys to have, that relationship with your dealer, that maybe you had it already, but now in a year that's obviously very strange, have you found yourself relying on that relationship even more? Brian, what do you think?
To be honest with you, absolutely. And like Aaron just said, we've had to adjust. I think the word of the year is adjust and adapt. From contactless, picking up of equipment or parts and tools. I put in a bulk tool order mid-February. We had the dealer open house, and then I think a week later, the whole country had to go into the quarantine and the lockdowns so we could stay home and save lives. And it was just interesting because it was unlike anything, again, just to go full circle. This is my 15th season in business. We've dealt with rain. We've dealt with drought. We've dealt with snow in October, November. We've dealt with 80 degrees in November, December, right? And so we've done a lot of these different variables, but I'll tell you what, when our dealer implemented, kind of like closed door shopping or private shopping and having limited amount of people that could be inside the showroom floor. I love what Aaron said. We had to get organized. We had to get efficient. There was a lot of virtual shopping. There was a lot of, reviewing and watching products on YouTube. Not only do I produce content, but I consume a lot of content. And so I always plug our dealer, Weingarts. We wouldn't have the business we have today or run it the way we do if it wasn't for those guys. So from the contactless, product pickup to the contactless equipment pickup, just the way that those guys have been able to facilitate us and our business, we can't do it without them. And you know what? It goes full circle to the customers too. Like what Christian said, we've had to implement newsletters, monthly mailings, and communications and emails to our customers, not only to keep them up to date while we were forced shut down, but also to keep them up to date as we were able to reopen and get back out there as Michigan suffered a temporary shutdown. So again, it was a learning curve for all of us, but I think at the end of the day, if we are future focused and we're trying to keep that positive attitude and we're trying to look for solutions and results, again, it keeps us thinking. It keeps those gears turning to be entrepreneurs. That's what we do. We figure it out. So it's been an interesting year, but glad it's behind us, no doubt about it. But I think it's made us all better because of it. So.
Brian, from what I know of you, I bet you enjoyed being the only guy in the shop for a little while. You're probably the kid in the candy store right then. Just do anything you want,
Yeah, it was a different, interesting experience. You guys know me. I'm not usually a people person. However, in a crowd, I definitely become more lively and love to have more fun. But it kind of was a little eerie too. When you only have 6 to 10 people with the social distancing rules inside of a large dealer where there's normally 40 to 50 people on the showroom floor, it's a little eerie. I'll be honest with you, but. Again, I know that we've been able to reopen and kind of get back to business as usual. And for me personally, I'm very excited to see us to return to what things were before a lot of the pandemic and the different measures we had to take. But all things being said, yeah, like you said, moving the needle forward, got to look forward. What else can we do, right? So.
For sure. Christian, how about you? What does that mean to you you've got a young company to have to all of a sudden rely on these relationships you've built with your dealers? Was that something that you found yourself falling back to?
Yeah, definitely. During the beginning of the pandemic, I purchased another unit in it was April or late March, and they actually was servicing us outside the dealer. So instead of bringing the clients inside the dealer, we were all outside, and they had more staff on hand, and we were distancing, which was nice. They definitely shaped to that. They have never done that before.
Okay, cool. Well, one of the things I think that'd be real fun to do with you guys is to just get some future predictions, if you don't mind, and just some tips for our viewers. So I guess, Christian, I want to come right back to you if you're okay with that. And just, you got your business going really fast. What tips can you give people that, just general advice on how to get your company up and running?
For coming up and running, I would really highly recommend a lot of marketing in the springtime, especially in that early March time period. We have had great success with door hangers, and right when you get that like first or second great warm weekend in March, when it's maybe up to 60 and it probably feels like 80 because you're just coming out of like a tundra winter, we've had really good success with door hangers. Usually we see a 1% return on those. As well as just being, when you're starting, even if you're just using your personal professional network, reaching out to companies, I mean, I'm sure, whether it's you're younger or older, you have, somebody who has some sort of affiliation with a commercial business. And that's what we've done for a lot of our commercial clients. And then word of mouth, it just gets you out there. Yeah, those are probably the biggest two, is using your network and the door hangers. And it's all about the timing with the door hangers or any type of marketing material that you use. Because you get a nice 60-degree day around here in maybe early March, and people start to get their brains turning, spring cleanups, mulch, and all that. But that's been a couple of the key things that we've taken away.
Okay, and I'm going to put this one on Brian. Brian, I'm going to put you on the spot, but Christian, I'm going to come back to you too, because I want to know. I want a bold prediction for 2021. What do you guys give? And it can be anything, but what do you see next year that I'll be covering in Landscape Management Magazine?
That's a great question. Well, I without getting political, because I don't want to do that at all, we'll see what happens over the next 30 days. But what I think is that we see that things are pent up, right? I think what my biggest hope is that the influx of new business, new sales, new installations, new lawn clients, new landscaping clients, this new normal, is everybody going to go back to the office? Are people going to be working from home in the spring and summer of 2021? A lot of us are working from home. A lot of folks have their kids at home. So I'm kind of curious to see if this influx that we experience in the spring and summer is going to carry on and carry through into 2021. Seth, for example, you were saying earlier, super good point, that a lot of folks are telecommuting that have that opportunity. And I've kind of noticed personally that when they're at home and they're on their back porch or their back patio or their deck, they're looking around and realizing, hey, we haven't really spruced this place up in 4 or 5 years. And so I think there was two camps out there. One was the homeowner that wanted to DIY, do it themselves. And they went to their local dealer and they bought mowers, trimmers, blowers, and edgers, which was super exciting, obviously. And then there's also that same group that thought, hey, I'll just go trim these shrubs. I'll go prune these trees. I'll just go landscape my beds. And they realized it was a little harder than they thought, and they still have full responsibilities to, work their 9 to 5, even though they're telecommuting, right? So I think not only was business up for the homeowners and the DIYers, but it was also up for the contractors when all these homeowners, pitched in the towel and threw up the white flag and said, you know what? I still got a life to run. My kids are home. I'm quarterbacking things and, playing defense with the kids, and we got different schedules. You know what? We just need a guy to take care of this. I want to go on my back patio and telecommute, but I need a contractor to fix, repair, install, replace, and we need guys in the field. So I think after the uncertainty of March, April kind of passed us, at least up here in Michigan, the floodgates opened, like Christian said. We had more phone calls, more commercial clients, more residential clients, and an influx than ever before. I hope, selfishly, that we continue to see that influx going into 2021. So we'll see where it goes. We'll see where it pans out. We'll see if everybody got all the work done that they need in 2020. But who knows? With the influx of stimulus and the economy being up, and of course, we'll see the results of the election in 2020, that could only, pour gas on the fire, and we might have even a more record year in 2021.
Wow, wouldn't that be something, just the thought of that? But yeah, you're right. There's a lot of things coming up. We don't know what's going to go on. Christian, you heard that answer. I'm curious, 2021, any bold predictions? Do you foresee me having a cover story on landscape management that you want to say, yeah, I told Seth about that last October?
Yeah, I'm definitely predicting a really robust year. I think a lot of it depends about how like if the pandemic kind of surges again in the over the winter and how it's going to play out in the spring. I think that's going to matter. But I think what's going to happen is that a lot of these families who already got their landscaping done, if they're very happy, they're going to refer you. But primarily because a lot of those families who didn't get it done are going to say, wow, if their kid goes over to somebody's house and they go to pick them up, let's say, or whatever, you're over at somebody's house hanging out on the back deck in their new area, and they say, oh wow, well that really turned out well. Who'd you guys use? And they're going to kind of have a little envy. I think that's the way a lot of it's going to go. Is I think we're going to ride this for a couple of years at least, because of that envy. They got this done. Time for us to get it done as well. And I see a lot of our growth for landscape installation, especially in the younger families, because a lot of these families they're not going to be selling their house soon and moving out. They're going to be there for the long run. And that's where a lot of our clients are probably going to come from, because a lot of younger families are going to be going to other people's houses, hanging out, doing all that. So I think that it's going to be a really robust year. And I think that, especially for the landscaping sector, but also the across the board, I believe that it's going to be, a really robust year. And I think that also we've gotten really good at the whole contactless quotes and service providing thing. I mean, a lot of our clients, we've met a lot less of our clients this year than we have before, which is probably not the best thing, but it's easy because it's really easy to shoot out a quote and then them prove to you. And it's kind of a weird feeling of not really meeting your client in person, right? But we've definitely gotten really good at that. Not only the provider, but also the consumer at kind of, giving a blind go ahead on a quote to get work done. So maybe it's going to be a little easier I found it to be easier even this year to close jobs down and to convert them to clients and get them on the schedule.
Fantastic. All good stuff there, Christian, and I agree. And what you're talking about, looking at the neighbor stuff, out here I like to call that keeping up with the Joneses. So, Aaron, can I ask you the same question, Aaron? Give me a bold prediction for 2021. What do you think I'm going to have on one of my covers next year, or what do you foresee in your crystal ball?
I think with the way things have gone in 2020, you're going to say this was the biggest snow year of all time. Landscapers are going to make tons of money pushing and getting rid of snow. It's going to snow all the way down to Florida, Texas, and Arizona this year, I think. It's kind of where I think the world's going. But no, I agree with what Christian and Brian are saying. We've all gotten more efficient. The landscapers have gotten more efficient on how they do things. The contactless thing, is probably really helping. Cutting out the small talk when you're visiting with customers. I know it's great to build relationships, but it also makes you more productive and things like that. So I also think that there's going to be a lot of pent-up demand on the equipment side as well. When the pandemic hit, it was right when landscapers were getting ready and getting going, especially up in the north, the kind of upper Midwest areas. So I believe that there's going to be a lot of equipment purchases coming in. I think there's going to be some end-of-the-year purchases landscapers are going to be looking for potential tax savings since you've had great years this year. And then there's going to be some new equipment purchases coming into the springtime of 2021 also.
Aaron, you just teed it up for me. That was great. That was actually I was kind of wanting to segue into something like that, and I'll give that to our guys. I'll give that to Brian and Christian. Especially with no GAE Expo, I'm kind of getting that feeling. I kind of want to go see something. I want to go ride on something. Are you guys looking to beef up what you got in the trailer? Are you guys out shopping right now? Christian, why don't I start with you this time?
Yeah, sure, definitely. I think that right now we've already grown our fleet since the beginning of the year with that influx in demand. And as we touched on before, with a lot of, at least in our area, a lot of influx in landscape installations. Well, you put them in. That's one thing, but you got to maintain them as well. And I think that with that, a lot of companies around here I see, and even our company, when we do installations, we tend on keeping that client for all the maintenance, and they're really happy clients. So I think that with all these influx and installation work, that we're gonna have a lot more of higher end maintenance work, and I think that we'll definitely needing to be looking at adding a couple more pieces of equipment, likely mowers to our fleet to kind of expand our capabilities and better servicing our clients. Around here, we like to keep a really tight route, but a lot of our houses are pretty labor intensive, nicer, higher end properties. So we probably, when we invest in something, we're gonna look at something, that's really nice, quality of cut, and probably not a very large unit. But yeah, we will definitely be looking, be investing in a piece of equipment. We actually right now we're having a demo of the 36-inch, the new Cub Cadet model stand-on mower. Actually, we really like it. I have we've used the other one in the past, the other 54-inch, I believe, but this 36 is pretty nice. So yeah, but maybe that'll be an addition to our fleet next year.
Okay, great, good insight. Brian, how about you? Are you going to be doing some shopping here later on this season?
Well, we haven't been able to shop for 4 or 5 months because we were closed, and then things reopened. And when we reopened, it was the floodgates were opening, right? So it's been an interesting 4 or 5 months. We've been busy making hay, as they say. Yeah, I'm actually personally looking for debris loaders, leaf cleanup, blowers. That's a lot of stuff that we're shopping for right now. To be honest with you, we have goals. We have revenue goals, and we had to adjust some of our budgets and projections. But at the same point, we took a hit in the spring, and there's no excuses for us personally to come up short. There's a chunk, about $20,000+ that we didn't get to make through March and April. And we got two options, right? We can roll over and wet on ourselves and bellyache, or we can launchpreneur and go out there and make up on it. And so what we're looking to do is bridge the gap with leaf cleanups. We're looking at debris loaders, leaf blowers, leaf loaders. I think there's a lot of revenue opportunity for us there. Everybody, is home. So some people are cutting their own lawn. Sometimes we're cutting the lawn. But when it comes to leaves, I've noticed if there's two services that most people are throwing in the towel on, it's doing their own snow and doing their own leaves. Everybody gets the exercise cutting their own grass, but when those leaves start falling and people start raking, they might do it the first day, but when the leaves really start coming down, they're going to start picking up the phone and calling us. And we want to make sure that we have the capacity to do the leaves. We have the efficiency to do the leaves. We want to make the revenue doing the leaves. So for me, I'm doubling down on our leaf cleanup game so we can start, doubling and tripling our revenue. We might make some larger investments right now into fall. I think we'll not only, break even on those, but profit. But then we also have the equipment for, the next handful of years as we have our lawn and landscape business. For me, I'm really ready to invest. Not only do I think we can make a killing this fall, but I'm bullish. I'm excited about 2021 and hopefully the next 3 or 4 more years, and hopefully things continue to grow and we can keep making more money with our business.
Okay, fantastic. I like that too. Aaron, you teed me up on this to begin with, so let me bring it back to you. I'm going to try and tee you up for one. There's a reason we all got together here in the first place, and I think you guys are celebrating something exciting over at Cub Cadet. Do you want to take this moment and tell us some about the Pro X636?
Yeah, that'd be great. Well, first, one really great, exciting thing to bring up. We probably didn't even have this to discuss, but this is our 60th year in business, 2021. Cub Cadet is going to be 60 years old in 2021. It's fantastic. It's been a great ride. We've still got almost 100, I think it's 80 to 100 dealers that are original dealers from 1961. So hats off to those guys that's made those businesses last and be successful as long as they have. But yeah, for us, business as usual. We're still looking to adapt and to improve our product lineup. So we have a 36-inch stand-on coming out. It is based off of the large frame that we introduced last year at GIE. So it still has adjustable suspension. It still has the easy deck lift, has the adjustable pad, very nice setup, large rear tires, 21-inch tall tires, same transmissions we use on the larger frame unit. We're very excited to launch that smaller framed unit. We also have some EFI additions coming into our stand-up lineup, as well as our 900 platform, which is our largest platform of Z. We just started shipping to our dealers a new collection system. So as Brian's talking about the leaf cleanup, we've got a new collection system to improve that. And we're constantly looking to improve. We've got some really cool technology that we're working on down the road to help you guys be more and more productive. So like I said, business as usual, we're not stopping. We're trying to bring out the best product for the landscapers to help improve their businesses.
Fantastic, Aaron. That sounds good. Brian, let me come back to you now, and let's talk about, we started to get into the bold predictions, but I also want to, and then you started talking about a few things that you're foreseeing, but is your business going to change any in 2021? I know there's a lot of uncertainty on what we're going to be seeing, but do you have any you know, things that you know you might implement into your business plan when you have a time to think about it, or have you considered any things that might be a good idea to be ready for whatever 2021 throws at us?
100%. I mean, like I was saying earlier, we have this huge net out there with capturing business with our industry. I'm really thankful to be part of the green industry. You know, I think from the contractor side to the company side, seems like everybody's doing pretty well and things are up. You know, I hurt for the people that are in different industries, you know, that aren't experiencing the same growth and are, you know, suffering. It stinks. But at the same time, you know, we have to look at the opportunity and what's presented to us. And, you know, we need to take advantage of that. For me personally, my company's on the grow. You know, we have some really great people that work with us and for us, looking to, you know, advance them into more of a leadership role with a new foreman where he can take out the lawn and landscaping crew, double down on doing landscaping, weeding, mulch installation, so many other auxiliary services like aerations and overseeding that I can do while I have somebody running the day-to-day mowing, you know, 40 hours a week with about 100 clients between residential, commercials, and HOAs. For me personally, yeah, I want to see the company continue to grow. I don't know if we want to get too big. You know, again, we want to keep it lean, keep it mean, because we don't know how long this wave is going to last. But all things being said, I'm very optimistic. And between me personally growing, my company personally growing, professionally growing, that's the idea. And so I'm very excited. I think a lot of people listening in to the show and also here on the panel, we're very excited. And you know what? I'm an optimistic person as is. But you know what? Looking through the future in 2021, I just hope and pray that all of us can continue to be as blessed as we've been. It's been an exciting run. So.
Okay, great. Christian, what about your 2021? Is there any big ideas that you have, that things that you might be implementing or things that you've considered that you're willing to share with us here?
Yeah, definitely. Of course, we're still in to look to refine our operation currently. I mean, I'm learning every day. I just was talking to Brian this morning, you know, talking about how much I've learned this year. Definitely looking to continue to just grow, learn. Also, we've started this year a new 2 or 3 full-time guys now. And we're looking to just continue to retain them and really kind of have a family and grow together and have a really good relationship. So then hopefully in the future we can continue to grow. Our biggest thing we're looking at purchasing some property or a shop because currently we're just renting a couple spots. But we're really looking to really establish the business locally and kind of get our foot in the door of like a local impression. So whether that's along a main road or something close, but we're really looking to make a difference in the community, but also grow our business. And yeah, we are looking to continue to gain more clients, but we're really trying to refine our client base and go, you know, much as high quality as we can for our clients and refine our operation. As Brian said, you know, lean and mean is probably the best way to go. You know, more is less a lot of times. And you never know what could knock this industry out of whack in the future. You know, we could have had a totally different world event that would have been the opposite for our industry. But yeah, we're basically just looking to continue to invest in ourselves, invest into our company and our guys, and provide a higher quality, higher value service for our clients. And you know, as well as looking to continue to make a great impact on the community. We've done a variety of donation and volunteer work this year and last year, but we've done a lot this year to make a difference as well. But you know, it's our second year in our Chamber of Commerce, so yeah, we're really just looking to have another great, robust growth year with all our guys, our clients, and our community as well.
Well done, Mr. Schloegel. Good job on doing that. The goodwill. You know, you spread love, and I always feel, you know, it's I believe in karma. I believe in stuff like that. So I'm happy to hear things like that. Yeah. I have a question for Aaron, but I also want to tee up Brian and Christian again, because we're coming up to, we're almost running out of our time, but we still have a few more minutes to talk. But I'd really like to come back to you guys here and just maybe have you guys ponder for a few minutes, like what would be some tips for 2021 for our viewers to grow their business, to have a good year. Just kind of looking for some forward-thinking pep talk from both of you guys. In the meantime, Aaron, my question for you is, what are you hearing from the people that you work with, and how is Cub Cadet? I mean, has it just been going into 2021? You got a product launch, you got no GIE Expo, but you guys are still very active. What's been going on with you guys, and what are you hearing from your customers?
Yeah, this is our time of the year where we start writing orders with our dealers for spring, and we start building out those plans for them to grow and be successful in the following year. We had to go to we always have a huge dealer convention where all of our dealers from around the country come in to see the new products, learn what we're going to be doing for 2021. And we had to do that all virtually. And that went off without a hitch, surprisingly enough. And we had a lot of great content to be able to show those dealers that stuff. And we're out writing our orders for our dealers. And by all accounts, from what we've seen, the dealers aren't backing off. They're expecting great growth in 2021 from landscapers and their other customers as well. So we expect 2021, just like for the landscapers, but for us as manufacturers, to be a fantastic year as well. We're ramping up and getting ready to go, launching some great new products and continuing to grow our business.
Okay, good. So now let me come back to the guys. Brian, I when I said that, I kind of saw your eyes light up a little bit. I'm going to give the floor to you. Talk to me about what are some things that you're wanting to advise your fellow professional on how he or she can maybe have an awesome 2021.
Sure, absolutely. Me personally, if I could really boil it down to one or two different things, the first one is going to be in my opinion, right, there's going to be a lot of opportunity for growth. Don't just grow just to grow. Grow intentionally. Take some thought. Build some budgets, build some projections, and don't just say yes to every piece of work that comes your way. Like Christian was alluding to, I mean, if we have this great of a 2020 and we're riding that wave into 2021, that means there's going to be a lot of opportunity out there. But that doesn't mean that all that opportunity is for you or that you need all of that opportunity. As weird as it sounds, like Christian said, less is more. And so niche down and have great pricing, which parlays into number two, which is know your worth and know your numbers. Again, in certain economies, it's supply and demand, right, Seth? And sometimes there's a lot of supply, and that means that maybe there's not as much demand, and so the prices kind of go a little bit down. I've personally noticed that in 2020, all prices are up for contractors, and we are making more money. And quite frankly, the economy itself across the board is doing pretty well. Folks have, great opportunities with their careers. There's been a lot of stimulus money. There's been some pretty favorable unemployment benefits. And so folks have cash. Folks have money. So my biggest two takeaways is number one, there's going to be a lot of opportunity out there, but it doesn't mean that you need to do everything. A friend of mine always says there's riches in the niches, right? And so number one, don't take on everything. Be very niche with your business. Know what you're good at. I always say nobody pays goods money for, 3s and 4s. They pay good money for 9s and 10s. But then the second part of that, the caveat to that is know your pricing, know your worth, and know that if there's so much work out there and somebody's got to do it, but there's not as many people replenishing the ranks in our industry for the lawn and landscape professionals, right? So if you're really good at brick pavers, maybe consider upping your rates a little bit, commanding top dollar. I know a lot of folks that are listening and watching in, they do great work. Let's make sure that we're getting paid for it. Start bumping those prices. The economy is growing. We need to make sure that our rates are growing too.
Okay, Brian, that's great. I love that there's riches in the niches. Don't get mad at me if you see that in the magazine one day. Okay, I'll try and you're gonna have to tell me who it was that told you that so I can give him proper credit. Aaron, same question to you. Do you have what kind of tips do you want to offer to the viewers?
Yeah, that's a great question, Seth. First off, in this digital world we live in, there's so much opportunity to get online and do a lot of research now. A lot of companies are going to have walk-around videos that you're going to be able to see. I've done walk-around videos on almost all of our products that our product manager, Alan, has done them. So you can really get a good idea of how those products can help benefit your business. The other thing is that relationship you build with the dealer is very, very important, especially now when you're not going to be in shopping quite as often. Making sure you have that relationship with the dealer, they're going to tell you what new is coming out. That's going to make your business even stronger and more efficient. The dealers know what those products are. The other thing with their relationship with the dealer, I think we heard Christian and Brian talk about it earlier, is building that relationship with them is very important, especially in these kind of different times. Knowing that they're going to be there to help service your product and take care of you is very, very important. And then as you're looking throughout this year and you're looking to expand your business, you're looking to add another fleet, you're looking to switch out your fleet. One thing I would consider looking at is something that we really put into our products is having a great warranty to make sure that you're backed up throughout the use of the machine, as well as maintenance free. The less maintenance you have to do, especially as you're expanding your business, is going to make you a lot more productive. It's a lot more uptime when you're not sitting there doing as much maintenance as you need to be. So those are kind of three things to consider as you're going into the off season and you're starting to research your products you're going to purchase for 2021.
That's great, Aaron. Great advice from our friends at Cub Cadet. Thank you for that. So now I want to kick it over to Christian.
Yeah, definitely. I'm going to touch on two things, route density and quality of work and networking. So those are kind of separate. But for the route density, especially for those you guys who are new into the industry or maybe even the ones who are into their second, third, fourth year and kind of regret taking on clients from all over the place. Route density has been really huge in our business because we have all of our clients within basically 2 towns, which is about 3 miles of each other. All of them are within 3 miles of my house, the shop. So we're able to make more. Less time the trailer gates up and driving between job to job, the more money you're making. Simple as that. Second of all, the quality and your network. Your work speaks for itself. Just remember, you're always on a stage. There's always somebody watching. People are at home now because of the pandemic, and I found that it's really good. Remind your guys to be vigilant of what they're doing, what they're saying, because a lot of homeowners are looking at you guys. There's blowers running. Wow, what's going on out there? I mean, there's a lot more attraction to you guys who are out there working. It could be good, it could be bad. If you guys have a really good reputation and you do really good work, I mean, there's a lot more probability you're gonna get hired than before the pandemic because so many more people are home. As well as your personal network and your professional network. I've definitely used that a lot this year. For example, one of our jobs, we had a couple of trees we had to plant, and they were much bigger than we expected. They were over 1,200 pounds. And a local buddy had a skid steer, and he wasn't working on that day. It was a Saturday. I mean, that stuff is just so important, and whether it's to gain clients or it's a network with other companies in the area, there's plenty of work to go around. We all know that. There's plenty of work to go around. So you might as well just make the most of it. So yeah, definitely those 3 heavy hitting points of the quality of your work speaks for itself. Always be, watching what's around you. Your personal, professional network and route density. Those are my probably 3 biggest things for 2021 of you guys to be careful of and to pursue and do your best to thrive in those.
Okay, great tips there, Christian. And on that, can you talk more about how in this unusual year we've had, can you expound on how client relations has changed for you and how you get your job done?
Yeah, definitely, Seth. It's been a really unique year because it's kind of in a stark contrast compared to the years prior where we actually met most of our clients. A lot this year probably, I mean, maybe it's for the better, maybe it's for the worse, but probably half our clients at least we've never met, mainly our new clients, because we sent a lot of contactless quotes, invoices, all through the CRM software that we use every day. And it's probably for the better because a lot of clients, especially, we acquire most of our clients for maintenance in the spring, and that's when the pandemic was really at its peak. And so a lot of our clients we actually never met, and we just sent over our quotes virtually through our software. And for some reason, I think that clients are a lot more, it's a lot easier for them to say yes to a service provider now that everything's virtual. They really have no choice in that matter. So it's a lot easier for people to say yes to quotes and jobs that maybe before they would have been kind of hesitant to actually say yes to without actually meeting the contractor, because I know it gives comfort to a lot of homeowners and commercial clients, property managers, to kind of get a sense for the actual contractor doing the work, because that a lot of times gives a perception of what their work is actually going to be like, how the quality is going to be. So in that matter, it's been really interesting, and luckily it's worked out. And simply, it's actually made things a lot quicker. I used to spend probably 20 minutes on a simple maintenance quote. And a lot of that's small talk, getting to know the client, which is sad that a lot of that's been eliminated because it's a nice thing to have a really good, strong client relationship. But I mean, now we're in and out in 5 minutes. We're sending a quote within 5 minutes, and it's that easy. I mean, we've gotten jobs in 4 minutes after I've sent the quote, after 10 minutes of me being there. So it's a lot for a lot higher job conversion rate at our favorable prices to us, which is good. And I think it's overall much more efficient for us, especially when we're doing most of these quotes for general maintenance. In the spring when it's just crazy, go, 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 go. You know, your guys are working 50 plus 60 hours a week even. So it's made it a lot easier, and I'm sure it's going to stick around because of just the peace of mind of people knowing, I don't actually have to be there to trust the contractor. I've had good luck with it in the past, and I'm going to keep doing that.
Okay, great. Thanks, Christian. Well, everybody, that's going to conclude our show for today. I want to thank you all for joining us for Cub Cadet's Built for Business virtual panel, and I want to thank all of my friends here on the panel with me, Brian, Christian, Aaron. Great to see you guys. Thanks so much, and I'll look forward to seeing you guys in person again.
See you guys.
We'll see you out there.
Thanks, everyone.